Hi everyone, I'm back once again with a vintage horror book update. And in this video, I'll be just showing off some of the recent books I've gotten. Although I will say this, that two of the books aren't exactly vintage. I guess the stories on the pages are. I mean, like when the book was originally published, but the editions are not. But I wasn't able to find, like old editions of them, so I just figured I'd just buy a newer one. And I found some for a pretty good price. And something else in this video I'm going to do is show off something kind of random, but it's a gift from a very special friend I just want to show off, And so with that being said, I'll get straight to the video. Okay. The first one is a 2-in-1 sort of thing, like two stories in one book. And this is from Sean Hudson. I've shown off some of his books before, like with Spawn, Assassin, and the Slugs, books. And as you can see, there's this big sticker there, which I need to remove, because I guess I'll just, the reason I kept this here, because I was going to remove it before I filmed the video, but I figured, I'm going to keep it there so I can just get something. Yeah, I hate when people put, stickers right on the books. Like, I get why they're trying to advertise, like, oh, buy, like, for example, in this case, buy 3 for £5. Or, $1.99 pence each, that sort of thing. But I just hate when they do that. It's kind of like, it looks bad. It just kind of hurts because, it's not so easy to remove those completely. And then you have to use some, alcohol or Goo Gone to get rid of the glue. So, yeah, that always bugs me, especially since I buy a lot of used books, I always see a bunch of stickers or even, marking on them. So I was like, Okay, with that being said, moving on. Rant over. Now, okay. This is Erebus. Hope you can see that. Again, the line's really bad because I have a lamp here, but sadly, due to the black cover, it makes it kind of hard to see. Okay, so it's Erebus, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which was published in 1984, and then you have the other one here, Victims, that was released in 87. I'll read the synopsis of it, but before I do that, just say, Sean Hudson, he's an author I really enjoy. I believe I always just said that, but yeah, he doesn't make masterpieces of the genre. They're just sort of like schlocky B movies sort of things. Not saying they're not, like they're not poorly written. They're actually very well written. It's just that, they're definitely not like masterpieces. Some are basically kind of go with the exploitation sort of thing. Okay, with that being said, moving on. Okay, Erebus, this is what it says in the back. Wakely is just a small farming community, but something is desperately wrong with the livestock and with the people. Suspicion points to the Vandenberg chemical group as it seeks to protect its interest, no matter what the cost to Wakely or indeed to mankind. And who would have thought that red meat could be quite so deadly? Okay, so from this, apparently about a chemical company, and they talk about red meat. I'm guessing they must have put something, like they must have poisoned people or something like that. And they start looking like this guy in the cover, or I guess the same dude here, seems with his ghoulish looking teeth and hands. My suspicion is that they all just turn psycho and start killing and eating people. But I guess I'll find out eventually when I read this. I say eventually because I have so many books to read, because I have a problem. Okay, this is what the synopsis for Victim says. Some are born to be murder victims. Frank Miller, special effects man for countless horror films, knows this. Blinded in bizarre accident, but given the transplant eyes of a murderer, Miller is disturbed to find he can spot potential victims. However, as they search for a maniacal killer, the police ignore Miller's offers for help as the body count rises. Miller becomes a target, but will he stop the carnage or become the next casualty? So that sounds interesting, It's like the guy, I guess, yeah, he's given the eyes of a serial killer, and now he can potentially see, future victims, that sort of thing. So yeah, with that said, I guess I'll move on. But yeah, again, looking forward to those ones. Now I have another Sean Hudson book. This is The Skull, which was released in 1982. I love this cover. Look at that. Like, you see this, the teeth, the eyes, this pale, skull, and it's his mouth, it's I believe it's supposed to be he's covered in blood. Unless that's saying that his skin is partially transparent. I'm not totally sure. But this book is in very good condition, although the problem is that, you see here, there's a marking. Anyways, with that being said, I'll see about the author of Erebus. I'm gonna read the synopsis and move on. It had been waiting for centuries, buried in a place they called the evil ground, waiting for just one drop of blood to restore it to life. But when Nick Reagan discovered the skull on a construction site, he and his archaeologist wife, Chrissy, were more puzzled than alarmed. It was too large to be human, but looked like no animal skull they had ever seen. Their curiosity soon turned to fear when the bones grew a thin covering of gray flesh, and then to frantic terror when they discovered that it had come alive. That sounds a lot of fun. So I'm guessing they find some skull, and I guess it's some sort of creature, and my guess is just with its teeth. I guess it's some vampire because it mentions blood. I'll find out eventually, as I said with the other ones. Okay, this is the last one from Sean Hudson. This is Death Day, which was released in, let's see, 87, same year as Victims. I love this one. Sees like a grave and like this glowing amulet, because you can see it's like glowing green around it, and there's like this skull. Well, it's not a skull. Sorry, you can see like a skeletal hand going up. I'm not sure you can see it in the video, but there's like these markings on the grave. So it's like, I guess the skull is like, clawing at and everything. Really nice cover. I know I get into these little minor rants all the time, but it's like, yeah, again, they don't really make, horror book covers the same way. And that's pretty sad because, these are just amazing, I guess the ones I've shown you, like, if I was, like, walking by the store, for example, I'm going through eBay or other stores online, I see these covers, I'm like, ooh, this one looks interesting, like, they catch my eye just from the cover. Moving on. I shouldn't get into that rant, like I always do. Like, I'm going to read the back of it. Beware the golden disc. It brings decay, destruction, death. And the next sentence, because you see that's the top part here, now we get to here. 400 years ago, a woman died in agony to keep its secrets and went to her grave with it hung around her neck. Now, in a desolate graveyard, a workman has unearthed the amulet by chance and elects to keep it, his first mistake. That night, the village of Medford is plunged into a maelstrom of terror by the discovery of a double murder and mutilation, the first in a series of grisly killings to come. For wherever the amulet is found, just want to clarify, that's like ancient evil, hideous, powerful, and vile, is once again reborn. Also, one thing I like is like, look at this thing, it just says Hudson for horror. So it's like, what's that? I just like the fact that the for horror part, it's like in big capital letters. It's like, so I wonder what that's about. I'm guessing they're clarifying like, oh, it's it's a horror novel, but I wonder why it just says like for horror in big capital letters. I thought that was just kind of funny. Okay, next one. This one, there's a bit of a funny tale from this. I was actually looking for this book for quite some time, but I never found anyone selling it for a decent price, on eBay or AIDS Books. And then a YouTuber who goes by the name of the Bookubus, she has an amazing channel. Actually, I'm going to try to remember, but like put a link to her channel in the description. I know like nobody watches me really. I have a very small viewership, but it's like she makes amazing videos. So I'm going to put her channel in the description. She actually showed off this book, and I even said like, oh, I was never able to find one for a decent price. But then the day after that video was uploaded, I looked on AIDS Books, and I actually found someone selling for a decent price. So I'm like, oh, wait, no. But this is Edmund Plant, and also I kind of wanted that's a pen name. Like really, like, his last name is Plant, and he made a book like this. But this is Garden of Evil, and I love this cover. I heard this book, I mean, there's not too much information about it, but the little information I can find on the Goodreads, it seems like it's not the greatest, but I mean, come on, this cover's glorious, and I found this for like $10, or I think it was actually about, well, if you count shipping and tax, I think it was actually almost 15. Anyways, but you can see here's like a porcelain doll, I believe, and there's like this plant, like consuming it, it's like this giant plant. And come on, that sounds fun. It just looks amazing. So I'll read the synopsis of it. 9-year-old Molly had always been shy and reserved, living in a quiet little world of her own. But when she moved to her invalid grandmother's house, she was suddenly cut off from almost all human contact. But Molly didn't mind, for she had discovered an ancient box containing curious looking seeds. She knew she had to plant a garden. What she didn't know was that she had discovered seeds of evil, each containing a horror greater than the last. Molly labored through each day in her garden, oblivious to the hell that awaited her, for she had sown seeds of terror, and soon she would reap a harvest of destruction. Garden of Evil. I put the cover in the back there. Again, that just sounds glorious. It does sound cheesy as hell, but you know. So I'm guessing that she accidentally planted a garden filled with like man-eating plants, that sort of thing. And believe it or not, this is actually not the first book I've read with killer plants. I actually have another one somewhere here. Let me just get that for a second. I have one right here. This is like a much older one. I think this was also. Oh, something I forgot to mention about Garden of Evil. This came out in '88, and I think maybe this book came out the same year, or maybe it was around '82. I can't remember this one, so never mind. But I have several. There's also another book I have about evil plants, but I'm not gonna say the name of it because a friend of mine, I think she sometimes watches my videos. I don't. Oh, I think she actually knows it. No, but the other one is just the book The Ruins. That was also another one. Yeah, for me, I was like, oh, I don't think she read that, but I was like, oh wait, no, I think she actually watched the movie. Okay, with that being said, but yeah, Garden of Evil by Edmund Plant. Again, I still wonder if that's a pen name or not because that's too coincidental. Unless he's, Oh yeah, move on. Okay, this one is Death Chain by Ken Greenhall. Again, this is the book, or one of the books that's like, this is not an old edition. This is like a newer one. But it's a book that has been out of print for many years, and I only read one other book from this guy. It was the book Hellhound, and I really enjoyed it, so I saw this one. And this book isn't too common. It's not like it's rare, but I've seen like some people asking for something like a little too high of a price on some places. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just buy a copy because I like the the cover. It's like a knight going through a note, but as you can tell from the name, called Death Chain, it's about like I guess evil or deadly chain letters, which now this is actually, I have several books about chain letters. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, I'll read this one. A computer-generated chain letter begins to circulate among carefully chosen people in Dale Falls, New York. The recipients are all emotionally disturbed, and this is no ordinary chain letter. Its rules are simple. Its results are grotesque. You kill for a stranger, then a stranger kills for you. The consequences look like a string of accidents, or the work of a twisted serial killer acting alone. Slowly and horribly, the population of Dale Falls drops one by one by one. And Paul Moyne, I'm not sure how to say that name, divorced father, amateur sleuth, I'm not sure how to say that one, and target to die, is about to learn that deadly chain is only as strong as its most demented link, the controlling link, the link known as the chain master. So yeah, that one sounds interesting, and I got this one because again I like the author, and it's a book that's been out of print for quite some time, so like they're gonna do a reprint of it. I was like, oh, might as well get it. And no reason too, because I thought it'd be kind of funny to read a bunch of books about evil, or deadly chain letters. Because I also got this book. This is Chain Letter by Ruby Jean Jensen, I believe is her name. This was originally released in '87, but again, this is like a newer copy. I wanted to get like an older one with I can't remember the publisher. Was it Star? No, I can't remember the ones no, it wasn't Star. I can't remember the publisher. But they were known for having a bunch of skeletons. But their cover was like a skeleton holding a mail and handed to someone. Yeah, those ones are way too expensive. So, and also I saw this is like a hardcover edition, and this was also going for a pretty cheap price. So I was like, again, might as well. So as I was about to say, the reason I got this Death Chain one for many reasons is because with Death Chain and Chain Letter, this is actually the third book I have with I guess killer chain letters. The other one being this one, which I've shown in my past video, well, one of my first ever video. This is The Count of 11. Ramsey Campbell. So it's kind of funny. Well, like now I have 3 books of but deadly chain letters. So I thought it'd be kind of funny. Maybe I can read all these. Like, I'll read The Count of 11, then Chain Letter, then Death Chain, or whichever order I do is like read 3 books about evil chain letters. That'd be kind of funny. I'll see if I actually do that because I don't know. I'm random like that. Okay, now I'm gonna read the back of this, and then we'll get to the last little thing, like a special gift. The discovered sheet of paper, half torn away at a jagged angle, was obviously very old, but smooth. Yellow-white, edged in black, the words were easily read. Whoever possesses this letter and dares to break the chain shall suffer disaster and death. Abby and Brian had heard of such a thing before, a chain letter, though each had more than a glimmer of doubt. They began to feel deep in their souls that this was no ordinary chain letter. According to the instructions, to be safe, they must send a letter to their close friends. But were they putting these friends in danger? Those that dare to break the chain shall suffer. It had seemed so innocent at first. Then the mysterious occurrences began. So again, and also by the way, the author, Ruby Jean Jensen, she actually has quite a bit of books. Well, I mean, she passed away years ago, but I mean, like, she made quite a bit of books, and they all have like really glorious covers. You can probably look them up. And a lot of her books are, I think some of them seem like they recently came back into print, like Chain Letter, for example. And another one called Smoke, which I believe is about an evil genie, I suppose. And there's another one she made called Jump Rope, and a few other ones. But it's like, if you look at the recent covers of those, they all look pretty terrible. They all look like they were made in Photoshop in like 10 minutes. I'm not trying to diss the artists who made those new covers. I'm sure they did the best they could with the time and budget they were given, whoever it might have been. Because like for me, I have no like art skills whatsoever. Like I can't even draw a stick man. But still, it just kind of sucks where like you get some really crappy art. But I'm not gonna get into that rant again. But it's like, okay, so that's all the books. So with that being said, I'm going to get to the final thing. This one I'll try to make it short, but I guess I'll give some little context. There's a friend of mine. I always joke around with her that like, oh, how I love VHSs and like VHS is superior. And one time we're at a convention and there was like a fake Blockbuster store. There was like a Blockbuster video store inside the convention. You can buy like VHS there for like, it was like $35 for a VHS. I was gonna get one, but then she talked me out of it. So I always joked around with her like, oh, you owe me a VHS because you talked me out of it, But what happened recently when I visited her, she actually gave me a VHS. And not only is it a VHS, it's actually one with a Blockbuster sticker. You see, it's $12.99, the Blockbuster price. And this VHS is actually from 94. It was made in 1994. It's still sealed, by the way. Like, it's actually never been opened, So when she got me this, I was like, oh, that's wonderful. It's like the perfect gift. But yeah, I just want to show it off because I was really happy with it, because the tragedy of getting this, though, is the fact that now I can't joke around with her anymore that she owes me a VHS because now, she gave me one. So this is the end of that joke. Okay, with that being said, I'm just gonna end the video now. Sorry if this seemed very random, and also sorry for my poor narration skills. But again, like always, I try my best. Anyways, bye bye everyone. Take care.